Welcome to the Patio Cooking Show, where I share with you fresh ideas to inspire you to cook more at home. My name is Ronnie Portolidis, I'm your host. We're recording from the Duke restaurant Santa Catalina. Today I will show you how to prepare some really special energy bars. I take them as a healthy snack, as a sports bar. They're also great just to take with you when you're invited somewhere instead of cookies or cake or other sugary or fatty snacks. I've developed this recipe for a friend of mine that's going to come tomorrow and pick up 20 of those bars. He's out on a cycling trip, so they're just perfect for him. I tend to challenge the status quo when it comes to cooking and creating food. So today I'm going to share with you how I'm going to make green tea, ginger, and coconut energy bars. All raw, all organic, no bake needed, and no sugars added. The cool thing about those bars is that they require a minimum amount of utensils. A mixer, a cutting board knife, a tray, and a mixing bowl. That's all. Step one of those bars is to take a variety of nuts that I have here. You will see the recipe in the show notes. I use walnuts. I use unpeeled almonds. I use these amazing Brazilian nuts. Look at those, how big and beautiful they are. And I'll use some hazelnuts as well. So all of my nuts go in the blender. The reason why I blend the nuts first and second the dry fruits is because the nuts do not leave a trace. You can use any household blender. I have here, let's say, a more industrial blender, but any blender will do. Okay, here we have our nut mix, nice and dry. That will transfer now into my mixing bowl. As you see, the blender is pretty clean. Now that the nut mix has been blended and transferred into the bowl, I'm going to blend the dry fruits next. Crucial to this recipe, to its sweetness and texture, are those organic dates. I use Israeli medjool ones. As you can see, they're very rich in texture, like meat almost. They're pitted, so I take out the pit and place them in my blender. You can use this recipe also as a base to be inspired to do so many more things with it. You could use or add goji berries, your favorite dry nuts. You could add hemp seeds. Further boost your bars with any other dry favorite ingredient you have. So be creative, create, be inspired, and create your own bars. Important to note is that the texture of the bar is being produced by the dates and by the coconut oil. So the more dry nuts you add, the more dates you need to add in order to keep it together. Think of Play-Doh. When it has a texture of Play-Doh, you're on the right path. I have my dates here. I will add some dried blueberries. You can use cranberries as well, raisins, anything you really wish to add. And now we'll blend it. Here we have our dry fruit paste, dates and dehydrated blueberries. Again, feel free to use cranberries, raisins, or any other dry fruit you wish. I will now combine these two, and that will be pretty much the base of the bars. Before I do so, however, I'm going to take advantage from the nuts being finely powdered, and I will add now further boosting ingredients. I'm going to add here hemp seeds, rich in omega-3 acids and rich in protein. I'm going to add some coconut shavings, chia seeds, why not? Chia seeds belong to the mint family, and they're grown in Southeast US and in Mexico. And here, one of the key ingredients, one of the flavor carriers, which is Japanese green tea. Now, Japanese green tea is harvested in shade and different from normal green tea, the stems and the fibers being removed, so it has a very intense flavor. Further, we will add organic coconut oil, which will add richness and texture. Again, the recipe you'll find in the show notes. And now comes the part where we're going to add a little bit of lemon zest, just to give it a nice tangy twist. I'm using a little micro grater. Okay. And to spice it up, to spark it up, I'm going to use a little bit of fresh ginger. Okay, I'm going to use a rather generous amount. To me, the ginger has a very important role in my bars. It has of course, a nutritional value, and of course also a very nice and interesting hotness. Again, I use the same grinder. Feel free to also use ginger powder. If you are not comfortable with shredding ginger this way, it is quite a job. Please use ginger powder. There are good quality ones out there. Will do just fine. You may find this a little bit too much, but again, I try to get as much nutrition out of those bars as possible, so really go for it. As you can see, I do not add sugar to it, I do not add honey to it, I do not add, if you're vegan, agave syrup to it. If you want them to be a bit more sweet, there's nothing wrong with adding a bit of sweetness to it. I believe that the dates and the blueberries have enough sweetness, so I'm happy with that. Okay? Now I'm going to combine this. This itself will become like a little paste. Okay, it may remind you on cookie dough. It's coconut oil and ginger now that add moisture to this dry mix. You can see how beautiful and green the tea turns this mix. It smells amazing, incredible. Now, as you can see at this point, it is a crumble almost, nicely combined. And this is where we're going to add now our dry fruits. Okay, there's a bit more here. Okay, here we are. Now comes the busy part, combining these ingredients. I'll ask you for forgiveness, I use my hands. Okay, I'm right now combining all those ingredients and I use my hands. The reason why I use my hands is there's not a single kitchen tool out there that can compete with your fingers and your hands. And the second reason is feel. The hand can feel the knots. I can flatten them out and rub in the ingredients. And another reason why is because the hands have temperature. Our hands are warm. So that warmth helps further turn that dough. Okay, at this point, all ingredients are well distributed, they're well mixed. Now, from that point on, we could make little power balls. You can turn them like this, like little energy balls, often seen in organic stores, or you can turn them into bars. That's what I'm going to do right now. I use a little bit of water to wet the tray. Why? So that the film sticks. I use some cling film. I place it on my tray. So later, after the bars are cold, it's easier for me to demold them. Okay, so prepare one tray here. And another tray here. By blowing into the tray, you help the film to go into the corners. And the rest, you just do by hand. Again, we're not after perfection here. We are after nutritional value and flavor. Okay, here I have my dough. Again, I use that little bit of water here to wet my hands. That helps me to shape the dough and not make it stick to my hand. And I just really press it into the mold. Pretty much same amount in each tray. Yeah, it works out perfect. Okay. And now we start to press in the good stuff by using water so our hands don't stick to the dough. You can see how nicely it works by using water. You press it especially in the corners. We don't want air holes. We want a nice, firm, dense bar that we can later wrap into tin foil or into plastic paper or into paper wrap and take with us wherever we go. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put them in the fridge so that the ingredients cool off, and especially the coconut oil becomes dense. Makes the bar even more compact and firm. Okay, last press, and ready we are. Okay, as a final touch, I make sure that with my finger I align the whole dough evenly onto the mold by using always a little drop of water. There we go. Well, per tray, I would say I would get around maybe 16 bars or 18 bars, cutting in half, and then getting out about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 12 big ones. 12 big ones or 16 medium-sized ones. Enough for a week. Enough for 2 children to have a healthy snack for 1 whole week. Once they are cut, we can store them for approximately 2-3 weeks in the fridge without a problem. Okay. Now I'm taking the foil, I fold it in a little bit, and then I leave it to rest in the fridge. Just to give you an idea how they will look like after an hour or 2 in the fridge. I can already flip one now. It's dense enough. I'll show it to you. So grab the foil from the corner, and here we are. So at that stage, we imagine they've been in the fridge for 2 hours. With our knife, we're just going to give it a little reshape, and then we can start cutting them. I would start to cut across, and then from that cross I would start to cut about 1, 2, 3, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 plus 8, 16 bars. Perfect. Well, I would do it like this if I would bring them to a party, or I would wrap them up like this if I would bring them to a picnic, for example. Again, instead of cookies, cake, a bit of baking paper around it, and then just simply a little string. You take a little piece of baking paper, you give it a turn or two, you pick up a little string. Let's pick the green one here. Made with love. And here we are. They're wrapped up and ready to go wherever you go. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you very much.